Okay, I can hear her stirring around. She kept me up all night. Like last night was hellacious. Oh my God. I swear to God. I think I went to bed like at 9:30 and it started at 10:30. And then it was just up all night. She just could not lay for more than a couple minutes. She was up pacing and panting and crying. And she's always got to just get right in my face and cry. Like, constantly, what do you want me to do? What can I do? It's like, oh my gosh, it's so frustrating, and to go to the vet and say, hey, do a complete scan, look everywhere in her body, see if there's something going on, or does she just have like a lot of anxiety? Is she just kind of a complainer because she has pain? Like, I know she doesn't feel good. She still keeps shaking her head. And yesterday I cleaned her ears even because she kept shaking her head. And they were so freaking dirty. I couldn't believe it. The doctor just said that he had cleaned them. And because he said he was going to clean them. So I don't know if that's more stuff that came out or what, but a whole bunch of stuff. It was even like crusty and I couldn't believe how much stuff was in her ears. So I cleaned them, but she still keeps shaking her head. And then I clean them with this stuff that it stops the yeast from growing. I can't remember what it's called. I can look it up if somebody wants, because I have a bottle of it. But anyways, so I cleaned them, and she still is miserable. She's still like leaning way over. Like this whole side is drooped down. She's still kind of, she wants to go fast. She has gone out and barked some. She seems to be regularly going poop and pee. When she goes pee, sometimes I wonder if she's like cutting it off too fast because she's uncomfortable crouching. I don't know. I just have so much hope for the med beds, especially because I've heard of other people's dogs going in them and having such good results. So, and I'm getting this, I keep seeing this one woman who keeps talking about this Dionysius earth, I swear it's been going over and over in my head. Like I can't get the word out of my head. And then I try and say it, diatomaceous earth, but you have to get food grade. And I'm going to give her some. I have it. It's going to get here Tuesday, but we're going to leave Wednesday. I swear today, I wish I could just leave, but I have some packages coming, and Wednesday is when my check goes in, and I got to make sure that I have money while I'm traveling because I don't know, anything can go down. I swear to God. When I was going to go to, me and my granddaughter were going to go on a trip. I had a hotel in Mount Shasta, and we were going to go do a trip. And that's when all of the fires up there were going. So I had to cancel that trip. When I was looking at the drive, it was like we were going to have to go through so many fires. Any of those places we could get, trapped. So I was like, oh, man. No fires have started yet that I know of, but there's still something going on. There's still, the cameras are off all in the south and on the East Coast. There's all sorts of, people speculating over what's going on. I saw in the Venezuela news that they are saying that all of these different, like the Russians, the Chinese, that all these groups are coming there to practice military games in August. And look how close that is to us. It's all a part of the, invasion of America. It has nothing to do with any of this stuff. It's just like, I don't know how far it's going to go, I mean, we already have people who are starving. I don't know how far any of this has to go. It all has to do with us all waking up and coming together. It's us that make the change. But you can't get people to understand that, like right now, there's drama going on in my family. My brother, which he's doing really good, I guess. I just talked to my other brother about this situation that's going on. Some drama with my mom and the whole thing. Because the one brother was paying for my mom to come and stay so she could see the other brother and all his family, because there's just a lot of weird stuff. Like, I've said, my childhood was very, very strange. And I really did a lot of healing with that relationship. My dad is passed, but my mom, I've done a lot of work on that relationship during 2020. And 2021, I was working on that. I talked about it on here. So and it was all about just accepting, like this person is who she is. I can't, you can't expect somebody to be more than what they are. You can't be angry at somebody because they're not everything you wish they could be. We have to accept sometimes people aren't what we want them to be. I mean, it's a big thing for parent, you have expectation of your parents. And so, I had been working on that and accepting it. But my mom is very, to us four kids that we grew up, as our mom, she was a teenager, and my dad, the four of us that grew up in that household, that it was kind of like she just wanted that part of her life to just go away or something. And then, it's weird too, because when you can see through things, you can see through why people do what they do and how they do it. And you see what's behind it all, but they can't see it. And you can try and explain something to them, but they still can't see it. So, when I'm hearing about what's going on right now with this family drama, and I can see, like, this is a lot of stuff that's coming up, and it's coming up for a purpose. It's coming up because this stuff has to be healed. But, most people can't understand at all what I'm talking about. I just sound crazy. Like, oh, you think it's just healing? Oh, you think this is just about your spirit? Like, I'm like, yeah, it is. Everything is. But, you can't get people to see what they don't see. You can't get people to understand what they don't understand. And this is this development in people is so that they can see, so they can have clarity. This is their soul coming to life to take charge of their life. It just changes things, but there's a lot of healing you have to do, a lot of healing. And so, I have no idea. I haven't even talked to my mom in days, and she seems to be MIA, and she's supposed to be there. The sick brother is really looking forward to it, because, like I said, we've all been kind of, like, didn't really want much to do with you, and it's really hurt some people's feelings in our family. And that was a lot of our conversations when we would get together, that we just didn't really have mom in the sense of other people's, how they had one, like ours was just different. Like, my kids don't really have a grandparent. Like, they don't have somebody who is, like a grandma role. If they push for the relationship, if they push and say, hey, you want to go out to lunch and stuff like that, she will go and talk to them and stuff. But it's just different. I don't know. I don't know what's going on inside of her. I don't know what her pain and suffering is. I don't know what, her blocks are and stuff like that. But stuff is coming to the surface right now. And, and all that stuff has to come to surface. Stella, come out here if you want to come out here. I'm not going back in the bathroom. Oh, gosh. Last night I was very harsh. I was just like, stop. I have got to sleep. I was so frustrated. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. Just like every 2 seconds getting woke up. And the only way I got through it was just like, okay, tomorrow I'll take a nap. I'll just have to sleep throughout the day and the evening. I'll just have to just really break up my sleep over the next few days till we get going. But this is, and then when it's going on, it's just like, what is happening? Like, are you this sick? Are you this miserable? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is going on with her? Like, so frustrating. But there was a couple things I wanted to say. One thing that I thought was so weird. Well, I keep seeing all of these different people. Everything where people start understanding spiritually, the first room they go into is devils and angels. Devils and angels, devils and angels. There's devils and angels all around us trying to control us. because that's the level that they can understand, but you have to go past that level and understand it's energy, it's what you give power to, and, it's, you give it life, but so I've seen this. This was weird footage. Oh, which, by the way, Ray went and looked it up yesterday, and he said that the Harry Dean Stanton died in 2017, and which that woman on her videos, and it's weird too, because yesterday I saw this thing come up, and she had put a poll out if people are enjoying her videos. All her videos are just about who died on this day. And so some of them are who died on this day, but who also died this day, like right now. So it's very strange. I don't know, but her whole thing is about just who died. But Ray looked it up, and so he said Harry Dean Stanton died in 2017. So he's long past. And Matthew Fox is not, he's alive and well, supposedly. And same with Jane Lynch, that she's alive and well. But, to me, like, I have no idea. I have no idea why this person would be saying these people are dead if they're clearly not dead. But there's also people who think that the Queen is alive, that think Joe's alive, that think HRC's alive. Like, and there's people who aren't alive, that they're keeping him. Tom Hanks, like, he has a new show out on Apple or a movie or something. It's like, well, obviously he's just a CGI person or a green screen, and then they put his face over the other face. They have all sorts of special effects way of doing this stuff, but I 100% believe Tom Hanks was in 2020. Like, I heard so much stuff about that. Same with Hillary, same with Joe. Like, there's a bunch of people who I think are no longer here. So I don't really get all caught up in like, oh, if they are, they aren't. There's just so much illusion in this world. But again, anything I say is just stuff I'm observing, stuff I'm sharing, the stuff I see. And so, go look it up if you have interest in it, for sure. Don't go around saying, oh, Kelly said this. And, because I'm just sharing what I'm seeing. I'm not going in and doing a bunch of research and going and seeing, like, did these people really die? I just thought, how weird, because normally I don't watch this person's videos, but when it popped up, I saw Jane Lynch's face was the first face. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you'd think if she died, you'd hear more about it. But I don't watch the news. So anyways, just, anything that I talk about, you just have to go in and look stuff up if you're interested in it. I saw more stuff about this Anunnaki book thing, about the Anunnaki coming back. So it definitely, to me, it seems like that this, it seems legit on some of the things, like, because there is going to be, we are changing ages. It talks about that. And we are going to have some, catastrophic event. Something is going to happen, something big. And I still see people like, oh, some people just aren't meant to wake up. Well, I think everybody gets an opportunity to be woke up. And I think most of the people I know are awakened to a couple of things, or a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just not to the whole thing. But most of the people who I hear who are awake are not awake to the whole thing. Like I said before, they get stuck on the medical, they get stuck on the politics, or they get stuck on the Bible. Like, there's so much to wake up to this realm, to this world, to all of the lies and stuff that we've been told for our whole life. And so, there's a lot to wake up to. But I think everybody's going to get the opportunity. I think something big is still coming. And, where they've got this nuclear threatening shit going on over there by New York. So, I don't know. I think it would be, somebody was talking about the EMPs and stuff. I think that's what it would be. A big direct energy weapon, that it would be, just to create fear, just to create chaos, just to take over a city. You know, maybe they're going to try and take over one at a time. Like, it's hard to know. Like, there's so much chaos going. There's so much information being shown now. I saw a news report that somebody shared on TikTok where, you know, where I had talked about the people who were injured, and everybody was at this protest holding up pictures. They all had the same pictures. So it was very, these giant white poster boards of their persons that were gone. And so they, you know, it was very structured. You know, you could tell because everybody had these matching kind of pictures and stuff like that. So the news was showing that and talking about that the people who they're pretending don't exist. And I clicked over it because, you know, I've got too many people in my family who are, and I can't give that energy. It just, you know, I can't give that energy in my own self. So, but one of the things too is, with the people talking about demons and angels and stuff like that. So there's stuff going around about that our phones are demons. And I saw this footage. This has to be made up. Like, somebody put their phone in the microwave and started it, and this thing comes out of it. Like, looks like some sort of, you know, creepy ghost thing that comes out of the ground on Halloween or something. And I was like, I can see it having that negative energy because we are feeding it. Like, but to actually, this whole thing about just demons and stuff like that, but I did have a weird thing about my phone yesterday that was so trippy. So for weeks, and this happened before, especially my last TikTok I had, that it filled my phone up because for some reason TikTok videos share or store in TikTok and store on your phone. It is this whole weird thing. And so it is takes up a lot of storage. And so I've been deleting all of the ones out of my phone that are TikTok ones because of this double thing, which then you're always at risk because right now I can't even believe how many people's accounts are banned. They're just gone. And, you know, and for mine, I know that they're doing something, they're repressing something. Just like yesterday when I posted, it took a long time before it ever even showed anyone had watched it. And when it did, it said 7. So it went from 0 to 7, just like boom. And it already had, you know, like, comments and stuff like that. So that was already happening, but it kept saying that there was no views. And so I was already like, okay, they're doing something with my account. And you can just tell when they are, because you can tell when the energy changes. You can tell when things are going, and then all of a sudden when they go stagnant, you can just tell. So on TikTok, I was on there and I was liking people's stuff, and when I would like it, it wouldn't stay. It would bounce the like back off. So I don't even know if it shows my comments or what, but they do stuff to interfere with us communicating with each other. So they're definitely doing stuff. So my storage had been full before when I had that TikTok. And so in my iCloud was full. And that might have been when I went up to the highest iCloud that you could have, $10 a month. And you have to pay it. Otherwise, your stuff is just like, I don't even know. This iCloud thing, the whole thing is so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. So they're telling me, you know, that I have to, there's no bigger iCloud, but I better figure something out. So I had deleted a whole bunch of stuff, and I had like a tiny little nibble of space. And I had 68. I even thought I only had 50 gigabytes or whatever on my phone. Because when I had gotten it, it was way before I had started doing any recording. I didn't know anything about, you know, I was going to use up that much space. I thought, all I use my phone for is texting and taking pictures. So what would be the point of having all this extra space. What would I mean, it just seems a little extreme. So I didn't get it. So I had the lowest amount. And my phone is an XS. So I don't know. So it's around a 9 or a 10 kind of time zone when they made those. So, I don't even think that they had the higher amount. It seems like they had 2 gigabyte amounts you could get, and I got the lower one. And so then when my phone filled up, then my daughter was like, well, why did you get such a low one? I remember these conversations so well. Like, this is so bizarre. So I was like, well, I don't know. I just didn't think I would need a bigger one. So that's all I got. So then the past couple weeks, I started getting notified again that nothing was saving. None of my pictures were saving. My videos weren't saving. I had used up all my iCloud. They sent me some kind of email and said that I need to go in and do adjustments on my iCloud. And so I had the email, but I hadn't gone in and done anything. I just had the email. And then, and every time I would do anything on my phone, I would get this message that would pop up. Everything's full. Your stuff's not being saved. And so I was just like, well, maybe it's time I get a new phone. I'm constantly saying, like, there's weird stuff with the colors. And sometimes I think there's weird stuff with the microphone. So I was like, well, maybe it's just time I get a new phone. And I've been doing Mint. And you just pay for, it's kind of like Cricket was or something. You just pay ahead. Like, my phone's paid off, so I just get the little data thing. And I was getting ripped off when I had Quest. Was it Quest? Was that what it's called? I don't even know what the hell it's called. Comcast one. And when I had that one, because I had the internet and phone and stuff through them, then that when my phone got paid off, suddenly I used triple data. And was like, oh my God, this is such a fucking scam. So I left them, went on Mint, and just paid for my data. And so I had just got notified yesterday that it was time for my new thing, but it would renew automatically. So I was like, well, maybe I should go and look for a new phone, go see what's the deal with like Verizon and T-Mobile right now, and see what phones are out and see if there's some sort of special or deal. So I was looking on them, and they'll say in their little thing, oh yeah, this plan is $50, this plan's $27 and all that stuff. And you can get this new iPhone 13, you can trade your phone in, and you can pay it all this stuff, right? So I looked on the Verizon one, and I did all the little stuff. And then they said, well, my payment was going to be like $140 a month. I was like, well, that's a big jump, isn't it? It goes from $29 to $140. Like, that's a bunch of bullshit. And they add in all this stuff like, oh, you get Comcast for free. You get Hulu for free. You get Disney Plus for free. It's like, fuck off. I don't want all that shit. So, then, and one of them is you get Netflix, like all this stuff. Like, who fucking cares? All I want is the goddamn data so I can use my phone. So then, the T-Mobile one, I was trying to do that one, but you had to call. So I call, and but while I was doing all this, I'm looking up the phones and stuff, and looking into seeing how much data. And so I'm comparing, okay, well, if I have like 60, then the highest amount is 512. So I'll just get a phone that's 512. I'll just get the highest amount, and then I won't have to worry about this bullshit ever again. So I went, I was talking to the guy, which, oh my God, it was so annoying. Why do they put people who do not speak English on phone things? It's like, oh my God, that should just be a thing. Whatever country you're calling, or whatever call center you're picking the phone up, then you should have to speak the language that the people are calling. And I swear to God, they do it on purpose, just to keep us frustrated. I was so frustrated. And the way that, oh, no problem, no problem, no problem. Dude, there's a fucking problem. One time he's like, oh, I thought I lost you. I said, you're about to. Like, this is some bullshit. So anyways, when he was on the phone, he goes, Okay, well, go in and look on your phone and tell me what's this, and look on your phone and tell me what's that. Okay, look in your storage. Tell me how much storage you have. So I go on and I say, well, I've got a 512. So I'm looking at the thing. I'm looking at the storage while I'm talking to this guy. And so I'm computing this at the same time. And I go, well, I've got 512. And he goes, well, no, you couldn't have 512. You'd never be able to fill that up. And I said, well, it says right here, I've got 512. And then it starts clicking. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, I just looked on those phones. 512 was the max. That wasn't even on. That wasn't even an option when I got my phone. Like, okay, wait, this is weird. And so then it said I had used 355 gigabytes of 512, and my thing was all the way over, like in the middle. I had all this space left on my phone. And I went and looked on my things, and suddenly there's nothing about iCloud's full, nothing about that. And so then I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. So I'm having this aha moment while I'm talking to this guy who barely speaks English and pretends to speak English. That's what it seems like to me. Like, I'm going to pick a few words out and I'm just going to rotate those words and pretend like we're having a conversation. So I was like, wait a minute, it's saying I have 512. Like, how would that be full? You just said you couldn't. Like, this is so weird. And he's like saying something. I'm like, okay, this is like some sort of CERN Mandela shit or something. What the fuck is going on? And then he gets all concerned. Oh my gosh, we've got to get you a new phone. This is serious. And I was like, okay. So he's looking stuff up and doing all of this stuff. And I'm just keep going all through my phone. I'm looking, I start messaging my daughter who had tried to help me clear my space before. And she sends me a picture of what I had sent her, and it said 512 on it. And I was like, oh my God, don't you remember we had the conversation about it? How would I have filled it up if it was 512? I wouldn't have ever filled it up. The guy just said that you wouldn't be able to fill up 512. It would be so much stuff. And I said, so how would it be that my phone was full? And then how did it get unfull? And how is it now get full again and then unfold again? Like, something is going on. And I was just like so tripping out. And then I even looked again this morning. Still says it. Still says 512. So I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. Like, and then at the same time, I'm seeing this stuff with these phones that they're demons. I saw this one that this guy took the phone apart. He took all the phone apart and pulled everything out and was showing what was in it. And it was just like this mirror kind of tin foil looking stuff, just like a couple pieces of tin foil looking stuff and a black thing, like nothing. And so this guy was sitting there saying, I'm not going to take my phone apart to see, and check and see how authentic this was. If somebody else Ray, if you want to do it, let us know. But so if, when he took it apart, he was like, there's nothing in here. Like, it's our energy. We are creating this world in our phone. We are doing this ourselves, our own energy. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so trippy. Like, are we creating this? And then, how did my phone suddenly go to 512? Like, did I tell it to do it? Did I give it that message by looking it up and putting it in my mind? Yeah, 512, that's what I want. And I swear to God, I looked at it when it did the shift. But this keeps happening. This is so weird because this has been happening for days where I'll be looking at something and it will shift right in front of me, right before my eyes. And when I very first noticed, I was driving and I looked over to see the price of a gas. And as I was looking at it, it switched prices. And I thought, oh, weird. How strange. I just caught that right when they were changing the prices. But that keeps happening over and over and over. Like, there is, I don't know how to explain everything that's going on in this world. And, you know, I know it's magical and I know it's all supernatural. I know we've been lied to. I know it's all been to keep us in the dark ages so these people can make money off of us and they harness our energy. Like, I understand all of these different things, but, you know, how our energy works with this technology and stuff, like they know something more than we know. And, you know, there's a reason, and nothing they do is ever so that we have something good or that's going to benefit us. It's always to benefit them. It's always to do something so they make money and to control our minds. So I don't know. It really was trippy because those videos I kept getting yesterday, right when that happened to my phone, and it suddenly went to another one. And I was like, okay, so, you know, I'm on my best timeline. Now I don't need to get a new phone. It just added its own gigabytes by itself. And then it's like, I hope that I stay like with it going that way. And especially when the guy finally got to the T-Mobile guy, he's like, okay, so you got to put 200 and some dollars down right now, and then your payment's going to be 150 a month. I was like, okay, well, I'll let you know. Bye. And it's like, dude, no, I'm not doing that. And the whole time you're just asking, I just want to get a price. I just want to know the price. But, oh my God, well, we got to do this. We got to do that. We got to look up this. We got to look up that. Oh, I need this. You know, every single fact about your birth. They need to know everything about you. It's like, okay, data collectors. And even like, okay, well, I've got to collect this data for this information. Is that okay with you? It's like every fucking thing is such a scheme, is such a scam. And it's all just to keep us trapped in their fucking world that is so hellacious. It's totally pouring rain here again. And I know that's probably one of the big reasons why our hips are hurting so bad, is the goes right into the rain and the moisture. Like my towels aren't drying. So I'm sure she legit is so uncomfortable. You know, I'm really anxious. I'm like kind of anxious in the other way of sleeping in the back of the car with her. It's like, oh, and plus all her hair keeps flying out, you know, their hair, which I didn't know this until we would go to the vet, and she would just start like porcupine. Her hair would just start flying out. And the vet told me when dogs get stressed, that's what they'll do. Their hair will fly out like a porcupine. And so she's been doing that this whole time, which, you know, if I tell some people, they'd be just like, well, you know, it's summer. That's when they shed. Like, I can't believe how much hair has come out of her. Like, it's crazy. I would think she'd be bald by now. But she feels super soft. So I don't know. It reminds me of like chemo, and then it, you know, with all the chemicals and stuff. And I just keep seeing weird stuff all the time. You know, dead bugs everywhere, dead, the tree, like you go, like I'm sitting outside yesterday, because she wants to be outside, and I'm sitting outside, you know, trying to enjoy the day, and it's just a weird energy. It's creepy. Oh, freaking lady across the street, just, I can't even believe, like, woman, do you have any privacy of any of your private conversations? Do we all need to hear every single thing? And it's not just like normal stuff. It is like, you know, so-and-so's in prison and I'm going to get that, you know, and fuck those motherfuckers. And it's just nonstop. Outside, she sits on her patio talking loudly. All these conversations that are just like, man, it's very strange. And then anybody who makes any noise outside, that pisses her off. So got her out there. For some reason, there was no construction, which was giving me this eerie kind of feeling like the day the earth stood still. The sky was weird. Everything was weird. It just seemed like so void. It was just eerie. And you know, when you just sit there and pine needles are flying down, and with no spiders, somehow, you know, the stuff has no effect on gnats and flies. It's like, I guess because when you're in hell, those things, the horrible things, will just stay alive, and the beautiful things. But there is a couple of butterflies. I didn't see them yesterday, but there has been a couple of butterflies that kept flying, but I didn't see them yesterday, so they could be dead now too. because they had been flying over and over for days and days over where I was sitting. So I don't know. It definitely has no effect on flies and ants. I mean, flies and gnats. Ants either, I don't think. Like, I don't know. I'm just so burnt out on this stuff. But things are going to be changing. I mean, things are, it's going to probably have to be a lot more darker, a lot more horrible. Like, who knows what is going on over on the East Coast and stuff. Like, I don't know. But my brother is, he's doing good. My other brother said he's about 90%. He's about 10%, where he just says the wrong word, kind of a little word salad, kind of forgets words and stuff. But his attitude, he said, how Troy used to be able to get angry quick. He said now he's just like real laid back. Like, that happened to me. I was very intense before my brain injury. After my brain injury, I became very just like, oh, it just changed. So, that's really good. Hopefully that did. There's just, I don't know, you get drilled in the right place, because some places it just makes people completely emotionally unstable where they just lose their minds. I'm getting a bunch of texts. But anyways, whatever any of the stuff coming up, like, I'm going to stay focused on this is my best timeline. I got extra storage in my phone. I'm on my best timeline. And, I'm headed for the next phase of my life, which, I'm really pretty excited because, I was born in 1961. Monday will be the anniversary where I'll have completed 61 years. So I'll be 61, born in 61. I just feel like this is my year. Like, this is a significant year for me. So I feel really excited about what's to come and what the future holds, even though, we got to go through a lot of bullshit. It's hard to watch people struggle and stuff and, have a hard time with different family members and everything that's going on. But just remember, every single thing happening is happening for you. And so you have something get brought up in you so that you can heal whatever it is that gets brought up. So every single thing that is happening, everything that is getting brought up, just keep going deeper into it. Don't be put off, and just whatever you do, don't blame other people. It's not anybody else's fault. The things coming up in you is a gift from your spirit so that you can see what it is that you're holding on to. What is your pain? What is your struggles? What is it you're holding on to from deep core stuff from way back when you were a kid that just becomes a part of who you are without you even realizing it. So really get focused on those things and really work on healing them. And just keep opening your mind. And don't get trapped in any of the things, because people are definitely still getting trapped. And, and that builds the frustration. So keep in movement. And, it's like a river. Stay in flow and try and float as much as possible. And it's hard, I completely get it. Like, I've had days that are such a struggle. That's like, oh my God, what am I doing here? It's just totally beam me up, Scotty. Get me the fuck out of this place. And especially just sometimes I just get so overwhelmed just where I'm at, just because I'm so surrounded by so much energy that is just completely in the mind trap, just completely in this selfish zone of three-dimensional existence. And so, I really look forward to socializing and being in the presence of other people who are awake. And I'm really hoping on this journey that I'm about to take that I'm going to cross paths with people. And, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to getting the hell out of the house. I'm not looking forward to, she's going to whine and cry the whole time. I'm going to just have to really dope her up. And yesterday, I gave her 6 melatonin and plus all this other medicine, nothing. Last night, gave her the same thing, nothing. Like nothing is touching her pain or her anxiety or whatever it is. So You know, I don't know. I'm going to have to give her something else. And then it's so kind of scary too, because when I was doing that RSO and I did that little concoction, even with the weeds that I had made and stuff, that she was like stumbling around. And that's before I knew that she had the ear infection. But I don't want to dope her up too much that she's falling around. So it's like I've got this fine line gray area to try and deal with. But anyways, this is gonna be my oh my gosh. I just feel hopeful. I just gotta get to those med beds. And then, you know, I put the charms under her bed yesterday and then she wouldn't get on her bed. Like, I really know you can feel the energy when you think about it. I came and laid on the couch next to her bed and I could feel, like, it feels like this pulsating that happens. It's weird, but I can really feel like this energetic pulsing. And I know it's not in my mind. So anyways, I think most things are our awareness. It's what we focus on, is what we pay attention to. So that's why it's important to open your mind more, broaden how you look at things, keep opening your mind to all possibilities, because really we have no idea. And this place is way more fantastic and far out than we could have ever even imagined. So anyways, I will go. I don't know, maybe something big will happen and I'll come back, or maybe I'll just sleep all day. I don't know. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.